Hello, welcome to STH English. Let's talk about what's happening inside Pakistan. On the outside, Pakistan seems to be doing fairly well, much better than what Pakistan was doing a couple of months ago, certainly a couple of years ago. But the problem remains inside Pakistan. The kind of pictures that come out of Pakistan, the kind of stories that are being made, the kind of narratives that are being generated are not really helpful and are not in consonance with the external developments, which as I've explained to you, are fairly positive. And the core of these pictures, these narratives, these statements, these stories, these podcasts, and these assessments relate to a place called Adiala, which is a jail where the ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan is serving a term in a case where he was found to be guilty. Now, the jail manual is pretty clear as to what should be the procedure for meeting an imprisoned inmate. And this applies to all people across the board without any fear or favor or without any discrimination for or against anyone. These rules are draconian. I certainly am not in favor of them, but these are the rules that hold the ground as we speak. And these rules were designed by the British and have been in vogue since. There have been some modifications here and there, but generally speaking, the rules are there. Let's look at some of these rules. These rules tell you, for instance, that all imprisoned inmates have the right to an interview. That doesn't mean a TV interview. That essentially means an interview in the shape of a in-person meeting. They can also write a letter instead, but that facility is available only once a week. No inmate can meet anyone without the presence of the superintendent of the jail. So a supervisor has to be nearby. And this is a familiar practice. You must have seen it in movies if you haven't had the chance, and I hope you haven't had the chance to visit inmates in the US or elsewhere, where a guard or a supervisor is always standing within the earshot. So this is not unusual, but no meeting can take place inside Pakistani jails between the family members of the inmate and the inmate himself or herself without the presence of a jail guard or a supervisor. The other rules are also very interesting. You cannot be sharing the details of these meetings to the outside world. They remain personal meetings, and the information of this meeting or whatever conversation takes place remains privileged information. If you release this information or reveal this information, and if you carry messages outside the jail boundaries, then you are violating the law. And the consequence of that violation of the law and the rules and procedure is very simple, that the next time round when you ask for a meeting, the jail superintendent, you don't have to go to the higher authorities, just the jail superintendent can actually deny you the meeting, citing the previous violation, or curtail the nature of the meeting. So the rules are very clear as to how the meetings ought to be conducted. Some of these rules, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf took to the court. The court, in the old days when the courts could, do and say anything and everything, and most of those things which were said and done seem to be tilting towards PTI. They said that, set these rules aside. We don't care what these rules are. Allow this meeting between Imran Khan and his family members and his lawyers twice a week. And that was allowed, though this was challenged as well. And this initial court concession was also held in abeyance. But that concession turned into a full-fledged podium for doing press conferences. So the jail premises and the area outside jail became an area of press conferences. Gradually, they grew into an area of protest and gatherings, and it looked like really a fun festival sometimes, till such time that the government woke up to the reality that this was spinning out of control, and then they started to curtail these meetings. And then the counter-narrative started, and that's what's gripping the international media as well. And most of the diplomatic cables that go out of Pakistan seem to touch upon this side, that now the government seems to be the bad guy, and those who are not in their rights to claim these meetings seem to be the victims. And then the other narrative started that Imran Khan was facing some grim health challenges. His son, no less, claimed that we fear that something irreversible had happened to him because for 4 weeks running, the meetings were not happening. And then finally a meeting took place, and these rumors were put to rest. Yet another campaign started. So when the last meeting took place between Imran Khan's sister and Imran Khan directed her to go and attack the Chief of Defense Forces and the Field Marshal and name him to be his persecutor in chief. Now, she had gone into the meeting with the clear understanding that she will come out and will not hold a press conference. She did not hold a press conference, but fleetingly, as she moved ahead, she essentially conveyed Imran Khan's message. And that was the beginning of another phase where the government decided that we cannot let you continuously violate the procedures and rules, and you continuously carry out messages which are political messages. By the way, no inmate, no imprisoned person can hold any political office or can make any political directions. This is actually a court judgment which Imran Khan's party had petitioned for when ex-Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was in jail. And as a result, ex-Prime Minister's at that time the verdict caused him to lose all legitimacy to call any political shots. So all the forms that he had signed for senators to become senators were considered to be null and void. So it is not only that you cannot share the details of these meetings, you can also not use the material opportunity of a meeting to run organizations outside the jail. Otherwise, the whole purpose of a jail sentence is defeated. So this new situation was tackled by the government, suggesting that we will not allow you to hold the meetings here. Yet again, the same kind of pictures emerged where last night Imran Khan's sisters and a couple of party leaders sat there, and just before the break of dawn, the administration decided to disperse them by using the water cannon. Again, those pictures have come out and images are being created, and a whole tidal wave of persecution, oppression, human rights violations seems to be hitting headlines. This is a headache for the government because clearly you want to send a message from inside Pakistan to the outside world that things are normal. However, for hours on end, the big news seems to be what's happening outside the Adiala jail, and that is a worrisome sign because it creates a sense of a country becoming more oppressive, a country and its system becoming more repressive, and a narrative is generated that while Pakistan is becoming stabler in terms of its diplomatic engagement, it is becoming harder for its citizens inside the country. And that's not a helpful narrative because remember, for the international community, it is vital that countries adhere to certain rules of democratic business. And once this picture emerges of the sort that I've just spoken about, international community starts to worry and starts to reflect on this country in a totally different light. When I speak to the establishment and members of the government, they don't seem to be worried too much about it. But this is a drip, trickle effect, which started from meetings, press conferences, and has ended up on water cannons being used and rather sorry pictures being created. I think if this continues, some of this is going to start to reflect on where Pakistan stands today. Sooner or later, a solution has to be found through which legitimate meetings are allowed and the rest of the paraphernalia around these meetings that is used to create very toxic narratives is addressed in a legal way. Minus that, I think this theater is going to continue, and PTI will continue to harness the potential for their propaganda, and they will continue to harvest this opportunity to their advantage, which all opposition parties will welcome, but it is not a welcome sign for those who run the country.